Wagwan. Welcome to the ABL 2025 review show, and it's your boy Big Ash, and I'm here with the Predator, former MVP, Prince Charming, Van Vika lookalike, Reuben D'Angelo. Hey, Reuben, what's up?
Yeah, Adi, good to be here.
Good to have you. Okay, so today we can break down the things we happened for the ABL inside. You know, there were some matches that we expected people to win and they lost. The big one that turned into David and Goliath, the trash people were playing, but we'll dive into all that. Okay, so the first game in the women's league, we had Army versus Air Force, and not to lie, that game was a boring game. I almost slept off. But Reuben, what do you say about that game? Or what can you say about that game?
Well, like you said, it was a boring game indeed, and Air Force could have done better because I've seen a couple of games of Air Force, and they have a good player, Nadidi.
Okay.
But the cast surrounding her honestly didn't help at all because if she had a little more support, I feel like that game could have gone in favor of Air Force, but it did not go as such. And in my personal opinion, I feel like they need to up their fitness levels because the tempo is very, very off. You can see that some people are pushing it and then others are below the standard. I mean, you are playing a league. There's an off season. There's more than enough time to prepare for the season. So if you take it that seriously, you should be able to meet the standards and do what you have to.
Okay, so going forward, what would you advise the Air Force coach or the Air Force team to do? Because right now they are looking like baby food. Everyone is just having a taste of it. So what do you think they can do to like get competitive?
Like I said, the fitness matters a lot, and Air Force is a service team, if I may say.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of players in there are in this, yes. But all the same, you have to put players up to a certain level because you can't have someone operating at 90% and then others are operating at 20, 10, 5. It makes no sense. It will just gas the top players more because they would have to do more than they're actually supposed to. And it's a team. It's not 1v5. It's 5v5. So they have to up that and get there.
Submission. So that match ended Army 28, Air Force 19. The second game was BSA and Navy, and BSA made their debut in the women's league. Well, Navy thought after winning Police, they were about to make it 2 out of 2, but they ended up losing. And what do you see? What can you say about that game? Were you surprised? Do you think it's an upset? Or would you say it's something you expected?
Oh, I actually expected it because I'm biased towards BSA.
Okay.
And they did not leave me hanging because BSA has some good players in there, from Misha to Ruth to what's her name,
Vanessa.
to Alberta, Vanessa, all of them good individual players, and they know how to come together as a team and play well. Because honestly, Navy did not see the game at all, and even though the refs were somewhat behind Navy because they ejected BSA's coach, you can see the Navy coach going up and down, talking to the refs anyhow, but still he was in the game. And then BS's good coach got ejected and they still came to win them. Like, it was a fun game to see. Like, I want the standard of women's league to be something as such because they bring the energy to the game.
Okay, so let's talk about Ruth Azuma.
Yeah.
And that day she was very good.
Very good.
What can you say about her? Since you used to play with her, used to train with her and all those things, like, what can you say about her?
Ruth plays with a sort of energy and aggression you see mostly in males. And I'm not saying in any way that she's, that way, but she puts some sort of energy into the game because their game against Navy, she was going hard to the rim regardless of being fouled, being pushed. Her focus was to score, put the ball in the basket, and you could see that focus and aggression in her game. And it was very nice to see because going up against 2-3 tall players in the Navy team who are good shot blockers, we know of that. And she was still going at the rim and getting fouls and scoring. So honestly, I feel like she's a very, very good player.
Okay, so if you have to pick between these two players, Hannah of Braves and Ruth of BSC, what are you going to pick?
like I said, I'm BSA biased. I'll pick Ruth. Hannah, that's in no way taking anything from Hannah. She's also very good. Shoots greatly and all of that. But in my personal opinion, Charlie, I'm going for Ruth.
Yeah. Zuma. Ruth for MVP. Okay, so now let's go to the next game. That was CYCC Aces against Police. CYCC Aces, after winning their first game against UG, felt like we were about to pull the underdog story again, but Police told them, no, when you get to the checkpoint, you can't pass without Koti giving you some hands. So Koti gave them a loud whooping. It was women against girls in that game. So Police won by 79 points and Aces had 39. So what would you say about that game? What would you say about Aces? Young girls, most of them in high school, some in the university, playing against like this grown women, veterans of the game. What do you think that performance was? What would you say about that performance? Like, do you think it was good enough, or you just feel like they were poor?
It feels like it was poor because the energy they came in with against UG, it was better than this particular game. And yeah, some might say UG don't have players to match them in that way, but still, when you start with a certain energy, you are going up from there. You stay there, or you are going up from there. You don't go below it. Okay. And I feel like that dip wasn't a good look for them in any way. Okay.
But on that day, I felt like they were a little bit flat, and they settled for a lot of threes, which weren't falling. With the match against UG, they had their threes falling and also.
Exactly.
Do you think it's something they have to work on, getting to like the rim, driving to the rim more, or you feel like they might survive with taking a lot of threes? As you know, if you live by the three, you die by the three.
You die by it, exactly. No, that's not a good game plan because you have to try other means. If the three ball isn't working, there are different options. You can go to the rim, you can draw a foul, go for the free throws, many options. So why stick to that particular option that isn't working? I mean, if you are taking threes and you're making it, that's a whole different story. But you aren't making it and you're still pushing at it. I mean, there should be some consistency. You take 10 shots and you haven't made one, or you make 1 out of 10. That should tell you that at this point, this isn't working. You find a different strategy, or you find someone who would make that strategy work. But you don't keep going on with a losing strategy. I mean, that's no way to play a game.
Well, I feel like with the Aces team, they have 2 or 3 girls who I think with a little bit of more training and consistent games, they'll make it big in this country. One goes by the name Emilia, the other one is Esther, and then I think the last one is Miriam.
Yeah, Miriam.
Great players, but more training. So now let's talk about the Police team. With the Police team in general, do you think they are meeting your expectations, or you think they are a little below your expectations for the season?
Not meeting it, but not that below my expectations, because they have good players in there, but some of them are and they are aging, a little past their prime, and some too are injured. So they should probably work on that, get a little recovery time for the injured players so that they can put in their best each and every game. And because they've brought in a cast of young people, which is helping them better than they had last season. So little by little, they just need to work on these things and then do what they have to.
Okay, now to the last game of this week for the Women's League, we had the Clash of the Titans. We had Reformers versus GRA Braves, and Reformers lost. No Eze Queen, and they lost. So what would you say about that game? Braves, let's talk about Braves.
Yeah, Braves. Braves, they are doing they do well. They are the big girls of the league, the women in the league, because each season they come in and go on an undefeated run. Okay. And they do it with
ease.
Such ease. I mean, everyone can see it, and if they had lost, that would be an upset because no one expected them to lose. We have such a cast of great players who work together, from Carlin to Hannah to the whole team. Gloria, the whole team is just perfect.
A well-oiled machine.
Exactly. Everyone complements each other. There's no space for mistakes, and even if a mistake comes in it, there's someone ready to correct it right at the goal. So that team is a well-oiled machine, like you put it. So,
and now let's talk about reformers. What do you think the problem is? Because they've lost 2 consecutive games. So do you think there's a problem in the dressing room, or is a problem with the coaching? Like,
it's hard to tell because last season they were. I don't know what's happening with reformers, but they need to check it and find a solution quick. If not, the season will not look good for them. Because in their last game, they start very good. That's one thing I don't get, because they start with a good tempo, scoring, keeping the lead, then all of a sudden everything just falls apart and everybody is chucking shots left and right, shots that they know they don't have or shots that they don't usually take. And I don't know if it's an individual thing or it's a team thing, but they really need to check into it and find a solution.
Okay. So now this brings us to the end of our review for the Women's League. Now let's dive into the Men's League. And we'll start on Friday, and that's BSA Police. And that was an upset. Police, after winning against Coastal, felt like they could make it 2-2, but BSA had other plans. After losing their game against TUSK, they came back with a more determined act. They put their act together, and now they won against Police. It was 62-52. The Police team, I mean, they brought some young guys who are now like bringing the energy to the team. They have Shaq, the yellow bus driver. They have Dixon, a veteran in the league. But they still lost to BSA. What do you think the problem was on that night? Do you think it was overconfidence, or they underestimated BSA?
I feel like it's underestimation, because usually in the D1 league, the new kids on the block or those who got promoted to D1 do not have it easy. They are usually beaten until they find their footing, and I thought that would be the same for BSA. But it seems like BSA is starting to find their footing, because this game was a game to watch. They were relentless. They went boot for boot with Police till they took the lead, because Police was giving it to them, and the physicality Police gave to them, some would have thought that they would have given up earlier, but they pushed through and they took the lead. They secured the win. And
so talking about BSA, let's talk about this player, Joseph of BSA. Very good shot taker. I mean, if not one of the toughest shot takers in the league, I don't know what to say, because this boy waits for defense to get to him before he takes the shot.
Yeah.
What do you think about him?
Yeah, tough shot maker, yes, but I do not agree with his shots being good, because sometimes he has an open shot. He passes that on for a contested shot or a shot that is likely to be blocked, and then he makes that. In basketball, I don't think that is a good option, but it works. Yeah, so right now you have nothing to say, but in my opinion, he should try to knock down the open shots more, because if he does, that would make him more of a threat. Because if you knock down open shots and players see that you can do that, they are likely to run out at you, and without closeouts, it is easier to make good decisions and have better options.
So do you think at the end of the season he might win Rookie of the Year?
Well, with how he's playing, it's very possible. Very, very, because some of the shots he kicks and makes, they are very tough.
So now, yes, with the Saturday games, we had the first game was Tema Youth and GRA, and Tema Youth lost, of course. New kids on the block.
Exactly.
And what would you say about this GRA team? Are they meeting your expectations?
If I'm being honest, my expectations weren't that high for the GRA team, because they had a bit of a reshuffle and all of that.
Okay.
So I wasn't having high expectations for them, but they've gone beyond my expectations, like way beyond, because they've come in hot 3 games in a row and they haven't lost one.
Okay.
Some might argue that where we play the league is their training grounds, but still, even if it is their training grounds, you have to make it work. If it doesn't work, still 0. So they are doing a good job this season. I hope they keep it up, but we will see about that.
Now with Tema Youth, what is their problem? Because Tema Youth went from being undefeated in the regular season in D2 last season and only losing to BSA in the finals to now losing 3 of their 3 games they played so far. What do you think the problem is?
Maybe they haven't recovered the loss BSA gave them. They haven't recovered from it because they have some very good players in there, Moi and the others. You see their level of play, like they are that good.
Okay.
Because they take it to the rim, they are good shooters, and they put in extra passes where they are supposed to. Even though they are good enough individually.
Okay.
They push the ball. It's not that I'm scoring all the time, so I should just take all the shots, regardless of if I can or not, making unnecessary shots or forcing them. They push the ball, but maybe they still haven't recovered from that loss, so we'll see about that.
So do you feel like it's a psychological thing or more of a coaching problem?
Could be psychological, but who knows what goes behind the scenes.
Okay.
So
now let's talk about the GRA team and this player in particular, Doji. There's this saying, old but good. I think that's a saying for him. You start using it because this man has been good this season, like from beyond the arc. He has been efficient, and it's funny how he's been this good and consistent for like the past 22 years. This man has been doing this for a very long time and he's still doing it. What are your thoughts on this man?
One thing that comes to mind when I see him, if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Exactly. He does it and he keeps on doing it. He shows, anytime you start to doubt him and then he shows you that it's me, stay alert.
Now, we had Reformers and Air Force, another big match, and it was a great game. It had everyone on their toes still. The final whistle, it was crazy. Reformers lost 78 to Air Force 85. West, leaving Air Force tonight and coming back with a vendetta. Like, this guy is back like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like Terminator because he's been on a mission this season. And this mission is mission possible because this boy is really balling out. And yesterday, he showed up and showed out again. Were you surprised by the results?
I was expecting Reformers to take the win because we are seeing what they are doing. Like Prime Scalor, almost Prime Scalor is showing his face out there, posterizing people and getting the threes. I mean, we know who he is. So I was expecting that Reformers would take the win, but it seems the expertise West brought from night is working well for the Air Force team.
Okay.
Because he's showing up and showing out, like he said, and he has a cast of people who support him with the blocks, rebounds, and believing in him to make the shots and to take them there. And he's doing just that.
So do you think he can carry them through this season, or you feel like there'll be a time where his back will start hurting?
It could hurt if the people who are supporting him do not support him well. Because like a well-oiled machine, they work hand in hand. If one part doesn't work well, doesn't work good enough, like I said, 90%, 20%, it would be hard. It would make the work difficult. So if the support is good enough, his back wins. But if they drop or dip even just a little, I'm sorry to say, his back could even break.
Wow. Well, with Reformers, this is their second loss in a row. What do you think the problem is right now? Because they lead in most of these games and then they end up losing. So what do you think the problem is?
Honestly, sometimes I feel like if there's too much dependence on individual talent, it would hurt a lot because it's a team. In the previous game, what's his name? NK.
Yeah.
NK took a 3 that hurt the team hard. And yes, he makes those 3s sometimes, or
once in a while.
Yeah, so you can't take that away from him. But if he plays according to his role, because he's supposed to be a big, more or less. So with a big, you're supposed to be going hard at the rim, or rebounding, or taking good mid-range shots.
Okay.
So if he had played that part, there's a possibility they could have won. So like I said, he believes in his individual talent, which is good. I'm not taking that away from him. Yes, it is good, but you have to know how to apply it and in the right situation. Because if you are down by 3 or you are down by 2, let's take it you are down by 2 and you are going for a 3 that isn't more than a certain percentage assured, you shouldn't. Because if it's a higher percentage, maybe 90, 95, 98, because we leave a margin for error, that's better than taking a 3 that you're not too sure that
probably below 40%.
Precisely. So if you took the 2, it would have been a tie. Someone could have done something. Anything is possible. Going to overtime, better chances of winning. So I feel like they should do well to work better. Individual talent is good, but you should know as and when to apply it.
Sure, it's a team sport.
Exactly.
Well, that brings us to the end of the psych. I got you. I know what you're waiting for. 9th task. That was the El Clasico. That was the clash of the Titans. That was the biggest game this season because we have the number 1 team, Sprinters Knights, and self-acclaimed number 2 team, Adenta Task. And oh my God, it was disappointing. It was appalling. And I can't. The words I want to use for this game are just skipping me because what was that task? You saw that's a dream. You saw that's a dream that you can live by because it was a blowout, I would say. It was a blowout. No form of competition. There was no competitiveness in this game. It was just belt to bottom. Spanking. I mean, it was like a father beating the child. I mean, it was 4. Task lost tonight. What would you say about that? Since you are part of the task team, what would you say the problem was, or what's your thought on the game? Like, what were you thinking about? Like, what do you think happened on that fateful evening?
Well, to start with, we sold your dream, but the dream isn't dead. Believe there's more to come. And in that game, there was a sort of a cold start. We were iced out at a certain point because the big boys at the back, the bigs.
Okay.
Our defense and our offense. Our defense, let me start with our defense. Our defense wasn't looking too good because we went crashing for the rebounds, no boxing out, and it was like we were just looking at the ball instead of going for the ball. We didn't want it that much. I feel we didn't want it that much.
Okay.
And we are not the self-acclaimed number 2. Our coach always says that in this league, starting this season, we are number 10. We are at the bottom of the league. And we are here to prove ourselves that we can be at the top. So for now, we feel we are 10 and we'll work our way to the top. So the dream isn't there. The dream is coming on. But in this particular game, there was a bit of technicalities of the sorts. Some little mistakes which we couldn't recover from early enough. So
would you say, because would you say officiating played a part in the defeat, in your defeat?
Normally the officiating doesn't go in our favor, and we have to learn to adjust to that better, because it's not anything new. We've been seeing it in different games that they're officiating is usually against us. And I think that we haven't learned well enough to play with that, because as a player, seeing or being in such situations, it hurts. It messes with your head, because you can see that your opponent is coming at you hard, and when you reciprocate that energy, a foul is called on you. So are you supposed to play defense with your hands behind your back, or how exactly? So certain things drains the player, it kills your momentum towards the game, but we are learning to do better. We will take it that it's not 5-on-5, it's 5-on-7.
Oh,
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so would you also say your coach not being on the bench or the sideline also played a part? Because he had to communicate from the stands, and do you think that was also a problem for you guys?
Yeah, like I said, some technicalities and little mistakes. That was one of the technicalities, because coach got an ejection some time back, and I mean, he is the coach, the head coach, right?
Okay.
So his input goes a long way. So I feel like that played a bit of a role in our loss, because maybe he would have seen certain things and made some adjustments while he was there. That could have helped, or that would have made the game a bit more competitive. But it's happened, and in my team, we do our best to learn from our mistakes as early as possible and correct them as soon as we can.
So let's talk about the Knights team. Do you think Knights are now firing on all cylinders?
They are firing, yes, but on all cylinders, I can't say that. I can't quite say that. They are doing good with them. What's it called?
New players?
Yes, with the new additions to the team. I mean, they've played a little in the NBI,
Okay.
so they've maybe gotten used to each other a little bit. Yeah, and that's helping them. And Amoto is not around, but they are still showing that
They're Knights.
yes. But we live to see. Anyone can get it.
So you live to fight another day.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And that's it. We've come to the end of the review show. Catch you same time next week. It's still your boy Big Ash, and I'm here with Reuben D'Angelo. We are out.